You've just accessed Hardware is Forever, your source for the expert insights, ideas, and innovations you need to do more in the electronics manufacturing industry. From optimization to operations, join us as we put the pieces together for a better approach to manufacturing. Let's go.
This is Hardware is Forever. I'm Chris Bintliff. Jay Patel is the CEO at Amtech. And Jay, it's great to be with you again. I'm looking forward to continuing our series, our saga here on high mix, low volume. And we last time sort of introduced that concept. Today we're talking about agile manufacturing for HMLV. Tell us, to start with, what do we mean? What is agile manufacturing?
I think, industries change, and as you settle into a market, you understand where your strengths are and your weaknesses are. Fortunately or unfortunately, in North America, we're not going to be the mass production market or the factory of the world anymore. We're going to be doing a lot of high-end specialty manufacturing that may not have tons of volume, like in a sense, like literally, large volumes. It's never going to be the consumer, devices market. It may not be the telecom market. It may not be the server market. So there's a significant market, but it's a little different in the sense that it's lower volumes. And because they're lower volumes, we have to figure out a way to be able to introduce a high mix of programs with lower volumes to be able to create a sustaining and dynamic work environment and company. So to do that, we need to be able to change to the high mix, to the different programs that are of low volume very, very quickly and very, very easily and very, very effectively. When there are programs launched, for example, smartphones, when the smartphone is launched, they know in that factory they're going to be running that for a year or two, nonstop, same equipment, same people, same process. So they can invest a month or two into, which is required for those type of things, to be able to produce that high volume, low mix type of product effectively. In our industry, we cannot spend that long launching and producing a part. We actually deliver product from PO to shipment in the amount of time that they may need in a higher volume to stabilize the process and design the process and test out the processes. So we need to set ourselves up so that we are very, very agile. We're very, very adaptable. We can change the product line that we're working on and manufacturing very quickly, easily, and effectively.
So I hear you saying that the agility comes from sort of two places. One is just the ability to move with alacrity into this space of HMLV, like whatever you got going, it's time to start moving into this. But then once you're in it, can you also move quickly to the next thing or adapt quickly so that your mix, your high mix, how do we do that? Like, what are some of the friction points that we can expect with that? I'm especially thinking about your team, your workforce. How do we make sure that they are equipped with that agility and not sort of overwhelmed with the lack of specialization, even though we want them to do their jobs really well?
Yeah, I think the number one thing is like you gotta set the tone and accept reality that we are going to be changing over and working on a lot of products at the same time or sequentially very, very quickly. So set the expectations like, hey, we change. We're agile, we move and work on different things on a consistent basis. Like change is part of our day-to-day reality. High mix, low volume is part of our day-to-day reality. Now, once that's accepted by leadership all the way down to, the entire team, then the second thing is that you got to set up your processes, you have to set up your people, and you have to set up your equipment to be able to manage that type of production. And that means that we have to get equipment that is generically optimized. So anything you throw at it, it can take it. So we won't get super specialized equipment. We will get super specialized equipment that is very agile and can change the product line and adapt to what we're building. For example, some of the things that we did with I like to call it our tech stack. So we have a manufacturing tech stack. So our tech stack with the vapor phase reflow, with AI integration on the shop floor, with AI optimized AOI, all these different things that we've implemented in the shop floor allow us to either react very, very quickly to what's there, or codify this type of expertise. So when we go from one product line to the other one, we are easily, quickly able to learn and codify it in either training in individuals or in any other type of software application to be able to grow. So I think that's the number one thing. And the number two thing, it's your infrastructure that you need to be able to be like that. Again, it goes people, process, equipment. And then the second thing is, like, we need to have that as leadership. We have to set the KPIs and expectations of what does it mean to be a high mix, low volume shop? What is our changeover time? What is our time to get somebody up to speed? In this type of environment, we need A minus, A plus players who are very, very adaptable and can learn. So then we have to create our entire HR recruitment process and our pricing model to be able to reflect that, so then we can support our customers. So I think accepting reality and then striving for setting up our infrastructure, and then striving, giving and getting the right people to drive the entire process is what is required in a high mix, low volume type of environment. You can't just take somebody off the street and execute on this, whether you have the infrastructure or not. You need somebody who is sharp. You need somebody who can be cross-trained. You need somebody who can wear multiple hats to be able to be plugged in to provide the skill and the talent that's needed for this particular process right now. And then tomorrow it may be something else that's required. So we need to really develop that entire approach.
I love these specific examples. I love when you give us sort of the practical, actionable stuff. And I like that we're now sort of, we have to think about our team and their sort of social and emotional intelligence. They can't just be on time and push the button. They got to be able to solve problems and think differently, which is what we would have wanted all along. But this becomes more in focus. You also shared some really cool things that you're doing that sort of reflect this agility. You're a leader in your space. What else are you seeing? Who else is doing this the right way out there? Or what common issues are people starting to learn how to overcome?
So I don't know if I'm a leader in the space, but I do like toys. I like finding out the different things. I like things that make my life easier. And if it's hard right now, I don't like it. So, we find different ways of enabling my laziness. Let's just say. So,
Yes.
But I think across the board, everybody's doing the same thing. Especially with this new. Before it was from steam to electric to now equipment, and now IoT and all these different things, and now it's AI. So I think these paradigm shifting enablers are being implemented, and right now it's kind of like the Wild West on what is being implemented and how quickly companies are engaging with this, this whole revolution in AI. How are they engaging with the whole revolution in IoT? How are they engaging with even what you said is leadership, an approach to managing your team, which is, as of recent, pretty revolutionary. The concept of servant leadership, the concept of growth mindset, all those things need to be baked into the organization. And I don't know how everybody else is doing it, but I know everybody's doing a little bit of everything. And then everybody will find their sweet spot. I mean, I think there is some value to be added by every single person, every single organization. And in a combination of these things, they will be able to find that value, hopefully. If not, the market will speak. And sometimes you like what the market is saying, and sometimes it is bitter news what the market is saying.
It's feedback either way. And as you point out, we need to respond to that. You gave us some really cool, very clear, you got to think about this, you got to know that. I don't know, is there any other, you're sitting across the table from somebody who is, trying to figure this all out. Is there any other and don't forget to do this, any other key advice that we should really be thinking about as we're moving into this space?
Yeah, first is really consider your life choices. Do you really want to go into an HMLV type of environment? Then I think
consider your life choices. That's a big one. I like it.
Yeah. So, but I think second thing is are you Are you naturally open to experiment with things? Are you naturally open to change? We could be, you decide something today and next week, are you willing to roll back that decision and accept that you were wrong or it could have been better? I think having that agility to be able to pivot when the time allows you and accept that feedback is critical. Now, if you cannot, some people are not designed to do that. They like to go down a certain path and stay on that path, and and they're good at it. They do a really good job, but when things need to change, they may be a little resistant to that. So I think if you are going down this path, whether you're an entrepreneur or looking to work in this type of environment, if you like change and if you like learning, you will excel. However, if that is not your natural talent, your natural tendency, there are a lot of different options out there that may lead you to be more successful and happier at the end of the day.
It's interesting because we kind of need to be willing to fail, or to fail fast and learn from those things. And I don't mean big capital F fail, but if making mistakes, if you're too risk averse, as you're pointing out, is that the right way to think about this? Like if this just makes you nervous and not sort of excited at the same time, then back up and find some alternatives. Jay Patel is the CEO at Amtech and the smartest guy about agile manufacturing for HMLV in the room.
On this podcast, the second smartest guy on this podcast.
The second smartest. Yes, come to me with all of your agile manufacturing. Appreciate it, Jay. Looking forward to the next one.
Thanks for joining us, and a special thanks to our subscribers and followers. Consider becoming one today wherever you get your podcasts or on YouTube. Hardware is Forever is designed, tested, engineered, and built by the manufacturing experts at Amtech. Learn more and let us help you envision your next project with a free Design for Manufacturing assessment at buildamtech.com/DFM.